Hello.
And it is morning of Monday.
Yes.
Dawn of the third day.
Dawn of the third day.
And
E3's long this year.
Yeah, the extra day.
Actually, I was thinking about this last night. It feels longer, but it's more nicely spaced.
Totally, we've got space to do other things in between, which is
you feel like there's a lot more time than you have, and I'm sure the people on the ground appreciate it as well because they're not running about like a mental case.
But it is the morning of Monday, and Bethesda happened at 5 a.m. our time last night.
I'm sure as hell didn't want to stay up for that. So
we woke up this morning, got some coffee, and watched all 40 minutes of that presentation.
Yeah.
It was,
I quite liked it. It was
concise.
It was fun.
It was
their whole style of like Bethesda Land cartoon theme park thing was actually pretty cool. I quite liked it. And they had the really good PR guy who they had last year to do 5 minutes of talking.
Yeah, I mean he's their CEO and
he's their head of PR and marketing.
PR marketing, that's what it is. So yeah, we'll just run down what the kind of stuff they showed. They started with their Bethesda VR label.
Yes, they're the two games that they're making for VR. So, what looks like a Vive. They showed a Vive.
But they didn't actually say what it's supporting. Fallout 4 VR is the thing that we thought it was going to be.
It looks like Fallout in VR,
but it does seem like they are actively they're tuning that thing to be better in VR, like they talked about. So like you've got full gun control. Yeah. You have there's the. I haven't played Fallout 4, but the power armor, like he was picking the helmet up, putting it on. Yeah, they're reworking.
You're actually assembling the armor on the frame.
They're reworking a lot of the interactions to use VR.
It was loading the laser rifle looked cool to me because you actually had to put the power cell on the side and it grabbed it and pulled it into the gun, which looked really impressive.
And then Doom
that looks
VFR, which is
VFR.
It looks like it blended the experience style of VR that we've seen before, with you like doing stuff, and then it just looked like
it went from you being like a robot, like a drone thing, assembling a power core, not by like stomping on it like the Marine, but actually like building it, to actually playing Doom.
Yeah,
and teleporting around the room with guns.
So like teleport movement, you had your guns, you were taking things out, like it just looked like Doom kind of.
Jump pads in a VR first person VR game.
Jump pads,
which was really smart because when you go on the jump pad, it seems like it slows down time, which is a really smart idea to let you like kind of orientate yourself and figure out what's going on.
And it must be the only way, because I think if jump pads behave the way they do in every other game when you're in VR, where you just go from 0 to 100 that way,
would make you vomit.
No way is that going to work in VR. Seems cool.
Yeah, it looks like Doom in VR, which would be a pretty interesting experience to have. I wonder if they let you do like first person glory kills, like can you rip the tooth out of a pinky and then stab it in his throat?
That'd be cool. It'd
be a nice little touch.
Would that be too much?
No, it's Doom. You can do whatever they want.
True. Talks about ESO, Elder Scrolls Online, which is something you haven't actually played yet, right?
So I played it when it first came out,
and
thought it was a pile of shit, but I haven't played it since they did the Tamriel Unlimited thing, which is apparently the thing that fixed it for everybody.
It seems like that they iterated enough on it.
Because the main problem that people had was it didn't feel like an Elder Scrolls game; it felt like an MMO where everything was all level-based instancing and all that sort of stuff. But then they went unlimited, everything will scale to your level, go wherever the fuck you want. Which is like cool. That's an Elder Scrolls game.
And the first-person stuff, which like it just looks like Skyrim to me now. As somebody who doesn't play Skyrim.
Yes. So yeah, they did that, and it's now like actually kind of popular. They've got like 3 million players, I think they said, which is impressive.
Sure.
And their Morrowind expansion that just came out.
Yeah.
So people get to go back to Morrowind.
People are so excited about it.
I might check that game out and see what it's like. But
what is it? I'm assuming it's not like I'm assuming it's a paid monthly subscription thing.
No, it's free to play, but then they have the premium service that you can subscribe to.
Do they hide running behind premium subscriptions?
No, that was one thing they did at the beginning, which was bullshit. They like hid mounts behind paid, but you can actually get that. They hide like the Dark Brotherhood expansion and like Morrowind and stuff behind paywalls, and like some other services and stuff like that behind a monthly service if you so require. But they can also offset that with a premium currency. So they're doing both. They're doing what the Old Republic did, which is like, hey, it's free, but if you subscribe to it, you'll get like a little XP boost and a bunch of other stuff and all that sort of stuff. They're making it a good value proposition, basically.
Creation Club, which is
paid mods.
Which is so they decided. It looks like they've decided to solve the Skyrim the Steam paid mods system by not using Steam.
No, they're saying that it is outside developers and community developers for like the best stuff.
Yeah, so they're curating all of this stuff,
which is what you wanted.
which is and they're going to be putting their own stuff on there.
They made fun of themselves by making one of the mods a golden mud crab, which was kind of funny.
Yeah, and there was a shot in the Bethesda Land kind of cartoon bit of just Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah,
like they know
that was a really specific.
Like
burn. It only would have been funnier if it was a giant Randy Savage head.
Totally,
but
like they know what
they know what that game is about. What want from that game.
Yeah, first
it's great. Like it's cool.
First and third party curated, and it's for purchase.
If they do it right, that's a great system.
Totally. Yeah. And they had, it wasn't like a monetary value they had, it was like a lightning
premium
bolt.
Currency, yeah.
So
it was little Bethesda logos.
Oh, was it?
I think it was Bethesda logo. Or no, it was like a lightning bolt.
It was a little lightning bolt, so I don't know.
Energy.
Yeah, some kind of energy. Buy energy.
Whatever you want to call your premium currency these days.
Trade your mud crab shells for premium content, and then...
Oh, that would be weird if you could feed it like the game feeds back in. That would be a weird one.
That'd be interesting. Like you complete DLC missions and you get premium currency as well as loot.
That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Why were you not game developers? That's
a
great idea. Because then you're getting, like, don't give it to them give it to them at like big landmarks. So like, okay, you finished the main story. Here's some premium currency. Maybe try this side story that this person's written or whatever.
In fact, what you actually want to do is you want to do the Eve thing of make the premium currency a physical in-game item.
Oh god, no, let's not do it.
That you can then be pickpocketed for.
That would actually be really cool. But you can't do that in a single player game.
No, but for like oh yeah, fair point.
Can't do that in a single player game. What you can do, you can make an economy in a single player game.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's actually a really smart idea.
Yeah.
Is like give them premium currency at like milestones to make them go maybe check out a side story or hey, golden mud crab. And
yeah, exactly. That's cool. Elder Scrolls Legends, which is their CCG that you have
tactical card
put
game.
some time into.
Yes,
with a
really good game.
Skyrim expansion pack. It seems.
Yes, Heroes of Skyrim.
You said something about like those cards have existed but they're broken or something like that.
No. There was a really specific shot of the cards are it's a card expansion, so it'll be all new stuff. But there's a shot in that trailer of somebody using a card called Burn and Pillage.
Okay.
Which was busted, and then they fixed it.
Okay.
But they showed the busted version of it, and I went, that's just reminding people that they fucked that up.
They broke that.
But yeah, that game's really cool. They also talked about Chaos Arenas,
yes.
Which to me, I think is like the draft mode against human beings, but it'll also incorporate like the crazy field rules that you could get.
So what's like random like
where like the environment could change to be like my favorite ones are like when you spawn a minion, you spawn a copy of it. Or like if there are no minions in this lane, spawn 2 other minions.
Hearthstone does that as well, doesn't it?
Not really, no, not on like field effects. It does like crazy modes,
right?
But like, I guess this is kind of a similar thing, but it's more field based.
Right,
it's sort of cool.
Makes sense.
But yeah, I really like that game.
Is that out? That expansion pack? I didn't write down.
I think it's out. I think it's out soon.
So cards. The other thing that says everything they talked about is this year.
Yes,
which is interesting.
TCGs live and die by their card expansion, so they need to crank the cards
and
out.
Story as well. They talked about like their
Elder Scrolls Online is the only TCG I've played that actually has a story in it.
And or to the extent of what you can get a story in a CCG.
Yeah, it's hand drawn cutscenes that then lead into a fight, that then lead into more hand drawn cutscenes, etc.
Sure. Brief mention of Skyrim for Switch, which is obviously coming this year.
Yep.
Motion controls
and amiibo support.
Yeah. So like they scanned a Breath of the Wild Zelda and a big chest drop down.
It's not Zelda.
Sorry. Fuck.
Don't make that mistake.
God, I just offended like 90,000 people. So they scanned the amiibo and then the chest dropped and it had a Master Sword in it.
Yeah,
and
a Master Sword and a Hyrule shield.
Which is like, sure. Yeah,
like, why not?
It's always nice to see.
If you're doing a cool offshoot game.
It's the one thing that Nintendo do really well is like when they inject them stuff into third parties.
Yeah.
Like they go for it. Like the Bayonetta stuff was nuts.
That was pretty cool. Yeah.
And it like had impacts in game. And
I wonder what they can do. You could like scan Fox and get a Land Raider, just like a giant tank in Skyrim. Totally. That'd be pretty funny.
Sure.
Yeah, if they go properly mental with it, it could be pretty funny.
Nintendo did that. So then it was the newer stuff. So the new Dishonored 2 expansion called Death of the Outsider.
DLC, yeah.
Death
of the Outsider.
15th of September.
Yes, which is I don't know. I know Dowd, but like the character in that thing that you seem to be playing is obviously someone from 2, which I've not played yet.
Because you haven't played it yet.
But it was this cool woman who seemed to be from the other land because she had all the weird robot-y stuff, which is
because she's people. And it seemed like they were. I mean, like as you can tell by the title, like their thing was that she went to get Dowd,
and then they said
like, we're going to go kill the
which is crazy,
outsider, right?
Yeah.
Because he's I played a little bit of Dishonored. He's the ethereal guy who gives you.
He's the
powers,
guy that gives you the power, yeah.
Right.
And like his relics and like runes and bone charms and stuff are the things like augment your powers and give you the ability to learn new stuff. So going to kill him is an interesting idea. I don't know if that means that the Outriders a chef in Star Wars. Outsider, sorry, is a major part of 2. Like, I don't know if he's like a major character or something.
I know he's in it.
Yeah,
I know that much.
I assume he's in it, but I don't know if he like plays some sort of major role. But
don't know.
There's a reason that they're going to kill him. But
yeah, 15th September for that.
Cool.
Talked a little bit about Quake Champions. BJ Blazkowicz is a character in there because of course he is. And
his like character ability seems to be 2 weapons at once,
which makes
because that's
sense.
what you would do.
And they talked about
esports,
closed beta.
Yep.
And they talked about esports. So there's the Quake World Championships, $1 million pool.
Which is what we're going to do if you're like, we want to make this an esport, legitimize it by actually having a tournament and money behind it. So there you go.
And they have a closed beta running right now. I literally, after it finished, signed up and immediately got a key. Like it's sitting on my the studio PC right now, ready to try. I want to see what that thing is. Like it seems
the footage that they were showing of the in-game stuff looks a lot like Quake. It was very fast.
It's very Quake 3.
Yeah, it's very quick, very precise. But everybody
that thing's going to live and die on whether the character abilities are broken or not, and whether they've got.
You would think that they wouldn't do that though.
And then whether they've got a mode that switches all that shit off. They need to have that. I think
purist mode.
Totally.
Tournament mode or whatever.
And then something I completely forgot about until it immediately started, and I was like, oh right, Evil Within 2. They've been talking about that.
They talked about that was going to be a thing.
It was rumored for a while, and then they announced it. It had a very Silent Hill-esque... Like, the first game took a lot from Resident Evil 4.
Right.
In the kind of, like... Oh, they're not zombies, they're just, like... infected people and that kind of stuff. And, like, anyone who's followed this out for a while, like... I hated about half of that game. No,
you wrote an entire piece about why you couldn't play that game anymore. Yeah.
It was about 40% of the 6-ish hours I played of that game... was really good, and it was the psychological horror stuff. It was the stuff that they do really well, where like
the Silent Hill-esque world swapping.
They fuck with gravity. Stuff is not as it seems. There's infinite doors, like that kind of stuff is what that thing did really well.
Yeah, it
was the actual other like quote unquote game part of it just sucked so badly. Like,
you said the stealth in particular was awful.
The stealth because they did Resident Evil 4. Kind of slightly earlier Resident Evils where. Like, limited resources, you have 7 bullets, and 7 bullets is not enough to kill one guy.
Yeah.
You need to just shank people all the time, no health, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So you had to play it stealthily, and these huge big maps with no save points.
Yeah.
It was just a nightmare to play.
But the trailer for this seemed to be playing more into the otherworldly
They're
crazy
going
things.
more Silent Hill, it seems, with a sort of more more abstract.
The style of the trailer suggested that, and then they showed gameplay, and it was all him running the corridors with guns, and then.
But that's how they. But even that makes me feel.
I guess they can't show too much of the world swapping stuff because that would kind of ruin it.
Only works once, right? And you want but the fact that the actual action part of it that they were showing was more gunplay is good, because it sounds weird to say, but if that game had guns that you could actually use, it would have been infinitely better.
Sure.
Because you need to be able to. It's one of the things about horror games that you need to be able to have that a lot of the best ones have done, where like they ramp you up to being like, no, you can actually take these things on now, and it breaks the tension that they have with the horror bits in between. Like Fear was really good at that, where like you'd have these like you knew you were going into like a horror section, and it would haunted house you for a while, and then it'd be like, okay, here's your machine gun, go. So this seems really cool, and I really like the style of it, where they're the kind of creeping dread, like the other world from Silent Hill, where it was like decay and rust and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. This thing appears to be going like, it's this kind of white milkish liquid. Yeah, because there's a couple of shots of the creatures in it with like that as like a fungus.
Yeah,
like
some weird thing going on them. Yeah,
which is like having your terrifying thing be white in a horror game,
clean
and very kind of pure almost is interesting to see. I will totally see how that game is. Like I said, I enjoyed the bits of that game that where they were doing the horror stuff. It was just the rest of it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
And 13th of October, like it's this year.
Yeah.
It's real soon.
Like they said, everything's this year. So
so July, August, September, 4 months.
Yeah,
totally. I'll look at that.
Considering how long not that game's been in development, but like they've been talking, there have been whispers about it for a while.
There was a rumor last year that it was going to hit.
So it's at least been in for a while.
Totally. Also, I don't know anything about the story of the first one. I didn't get far enough to really see a story.
We'll look it up.
It's funny to see. And then their end was Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus,
with a really cool way of intro in it.
So they had you should go watch it. It's a great thing. But like it was like 80s. No, what would you say era that was?
Like 60s, 70s.
60s, 70s TV styling.
The guy dropped acid, so that would be 70s, I think.
Yeah,
or maybe 60s.
Maybe. And like Americana.
Yes.
Very kind of.
It was
Little House of the Prairie
like
style.
fake TV shows, and it was like Lassie and like some weird game show,
all of it,
but all skewed into this world where the Nazis won and all that sort of stuff. So it's like Lassie, instead of calling Lassie, calls one of the giant dog robots.
Yeah, it's like German or Else was the game show.
German or Else was the game show.
There was a thing of like which was like a Happy Days style thing where they're wearing like lederhosen, that kind of stuff. Like it was beautifully done.
It's a really, really smart idea.
And then it cut into like actual gameplay, and BG Blazkowicz is in a wheelchair for chunks of it.
It looks like
Anna,
I think it's some sort of
Anna his other half, I think, who's
pregnant with twins.
Like they're doing some stuff.
BJ appears to get some sort of super suit to make himself walk again.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's like I said to you when we were watching it. Like it's great to see when you see that developers have realized the best parts of their last game.
Yes.
Where they're like, not only is the action going to look
crazy,
amazing, like the characters in that thing were great in the last,
and it had that little bit of humor that they needed.
It had that great humor in it. There's a great the interactions with a bunch of those people in there were great.
They
are.
There's a guy from Glasgow in it, which is really
guy looks like he's worked in the Glasgow shipyards
in
it,
Yarras or something.
Which is cool for us. And the woman from the first game, the Nazi lady on the train with a knife game, like the creepiest character in that whole fucking thing.
Appears to be the main
antagonist. She appears to be the antagonist this time. And it appears to be like obviously the first game was about building a resistance or like having a resistance
or just fighting back in general.
But you had this you had a home base and you had your group. Like it seems like they're expanding that. Like there was a lot of characters in that.
Yeah, they're now talking about actually forming a big resistance movement.
Yeah, totally. And it is in the States this time. Like it is properly like there's a great shot of like Main Street America, of that time with like your cinema.
Yeah, there was like a first person section in like a diner or something like that.
Yeah,
where I don't think you were playing BJ because they were talking about a firefighter.
Unless you were disguised as a firefighter. Or something
yeah, maybe.
Like that. But
because they asked for identification papers.
So
and
like
stuff.
they're in there and like this
Imagine
SS dude.
That'd be a really cool scene actually.
What's that?
Where like there's some big Americana like festival parade thing going on, and then you get discovered, so it just turns into like violent. That's actually a really cool scene.
Totally. It seemed like that's kind of what they were going for. But it this dude in a German uniform comes in and orders a strawberry milkshake, and like it really does make you feel uneasy when you see like all of this stuff that you're used to, like obviously not our history, but like you're used to seeing from movies.
Super Americana juxtaposed with Nazism.
Yeah, exactly. But there's a great scene when they're cutting down or they're looking down like kind of this kind of Main Street America style thing, and there's two SS officers taking away members of the Ku Klux Klan. Yeah, like that was like so much bizarre image there.
That game will be really cool.
That game is awesome, and it's the 27th of October. Yeah. Again, same 4 months away. This year. Yeah, it's gonna be a good end of the year. Awesome. I love those games. The New Order is an awesome game. Like that. Yeah, and like it was a game that was so much about characters and the story in it that I was fine when it went to space. Yeah, but it went to space in like the best possible way. Well, yeah, but like they were able to throw any pretense of like gritty realism out the window. Oh yeah. And say like, no, you're just going to space and here's a laser gun, and it was still totally believable. And those games were awesome. Did you ever play New Order? Was that the expansion? Yeah. No, Old Blood. Old Blood was the expansion. New Order was did not play it. No. Heard good things. Yeah, totally. Didn't play it, but might play it now. Yeah, might get into it. that was kind of it. Like I said, it was a short, concise,
short
40
minutes
thing.
Here's our things.
They hit the things they wanted. There was
no
enough.
real big surprises or anything, but
no surprises.
Some nice little. Oh, there you go. That's
totally.
good.
Like seeing even. It's like for me personally, like seeing Evil Within 2 looking interesting again seems good. That Wolfenstein thing, like I said, they know they know it was good.
Yeah.
They want to do that. And yeah, everything else is kind of what you expected. I need to find someone with a VR headset so I can play Doom. That thing seems awesome.
I mean, you could do it in here, I guess.
I could do it in here, but there's not actually a lot of space, and I'm going to break that TV if I start flailing.
That's true, yeah.
But yeah, that was us.
Yep.
So we'll be back later for Ubisoft first.
Or the PC show if that ends up being useful.
Is that not in the middle?
No, it's first.
Is it first?
That's six.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll watch the PC stuff, and if there's any...
Potentially maybe do a thing for that.
They're definitely talking about XCOM 2, so I want to see what they do for that, and if not, if there's something useful, we'll do a video. If not,
we'll be back for Ubi.
You'll see us at Ubisoft. But yeah, thanks for watching. Stay tuned.